I guess I'm supposed to say something about pottery, and to do that, I'm going to say something about poetry. At first, I was very sincerely convinced that I was going to be a poet and blah, blah, blah. And in the process of studying at the State University of Iowa and the Writers' Workshop, I had a distinct taste of writers looking over their shoulder at everybody, trying to see who was who and who was popular and who was getting published. And I thought to myself, boy, I don't like that. This is my own particular thing. I could still write, but I needed to, little by little, I understood that I needed to be grounded more. I heard someone say something about taking a pottery class. I said to myself, not a bad idea. But I didn't actually get a very good grade, in fact, and I was asked to repeat the class, and again, the same thing happened. So I didn't yet have the personal discipline that I needed, but within a few years, boy, I knew that I needed that discipline. And I knew that holding the earth was going to help me in a way that no matter what I thought about myself or the world or anything else, it would make a difference in the sense that, what I learned was how to get out of the way of myself, which meant then I was able to experience life a lot finer. So this has been going on now for 60 years or something like that, and I can see that someday I'm going to have to get out of the way too. It's coming, you know. Okay, so back to poetry. Once I got the pottery going, I began to learn how to include the poetry. After a good day of working, there was a little bit of space in me, and I could get filled with something that would help me find my way. So here's one example, and I'll just do a couple for fun. This vessel, I was lifted from clay by breath attended, and will return again, carried to my origin, my source. Looking upside down because we are, the bowl of heaven holds stars and words, yet never spills. I am the clay, the vessel that receives. I am what fills and empties, the attendant that carries and serves. A pearl. Life may be aligned to where this resonance embodied, these pearls of substance coated by the weight of a breath released. What seems to be drifting may be a pearl of different density. A string attends one to the next and the next, fastens to pearls that haven't yet appeared, with those left long behind. The lost, then found. I wear them all. I enter the moment enters me. Presence now is a pearl. And to just round this out just a little bit, my wife is a weaver, a spinner, a dyer. And in a way to introduce her work, this is For a Spinner. The yarn is spun with her attention, the length determined by intention. She watches now the wheel go round and listens to the whirring sound. The spinner's touch creates the tension. The wheel pulls against her tension, a spiral twist, a new dimension drawn from carded wool surrounds itself as it is quickly wound. The bobbin dances, an axial extension, freely moving with her attention.
Let me bring the mic a little closer here.
Hard to follow that.
I was going to say, Mike.
So I'm not a poet. But I have always felt the need to be connected to, I want to say to the earth, but really through my feet, to as I walk, to the air that I breathe. And I found that when I came to weaving and all the accompanying processes, those things helped to really ground me in my life. And I find it with painting too, because there's just a wonderful draw to be able to hold a brush and stay with that movement when I can. So I spin and I dye my yarns and sometimes grow the plants that make those dyes. It's a complete process, from the spinning to the dyeing to the weaving to the finishing, and there are many, many processes in between. As anybody who's worked in a craft or worked with material knows that there are many, many different sides to each thing that you do in a craft. And I find that the craft and the art, they help keep me alive. And during this recent period, I was really grateful that I had that opportunity to stay connected with myself through my hands. So, thank you very much. And I want to thank the arts, the Otero Artspace, the people, and specifically Ann and Jan and Chris, and everybody else who has been helpful here. I think this is a wonderful space, and thank you so much.
Thank you for showing me.
Okay.
So I've yet to meet Georgia.
I'm Georgia.
Georgia.
I live in Nogel. I've been doing woodwork since the 80s, and feel very similar to Susan's process, being so connected. I started out doing jewelry, which was small sculptures that just grew over time, and so I was able to learn a lot of the strengths and weaknesses of different woods, and I felt like it was a collaboration instead of just me working by myself. And then I took up clay just about 10 years ago, and what a freedom that was. That was, like pushing paint on a canvas compared to woodwork. Woodwork is so laborious and step by step and tedious, and you almost have to have a plan. Where clay, my goodness, you can just let it appear, Woodworking, a lot of times the pieces will talk to you and tell you what to do with it. And a lot of times they just evolve with you as you're making the piece. So both of the mediums have been very, very good for me in my process of being an artist. And thank y'all for coming.
Thank you.